Have you ever picked up a book that completely changed the way you see everything? Well, today, we're going to look behind the curtain of one of those books. We're diving into the afterword of The Courage to be Disliked to uncover its absolutely incredible origin story. So this is how Fumitake Koga, one of the authors, kicks the whole thing off. This wasn't just some book he decided to write, it was a book that found him first and totally shook up his world. This one sentence really sets the stage for a journey that was more than 10 years in the making. You see, the real heart of this story isn't about some clever marketing plan or a publishing trend. Nope. It's all about a fateful meeting and a really powerful promise between a writer, Fumitake Koga, and a philosopher, Ichiro Kishimi. Okay, so let's start at the beginning. Our story begins with the seeker, a young Fumitake Koga, long before he was a best-selling author. Now, this journey was anything but an overnight success. It actually started way back in 1999. Koga was in his 20s and just happened to stumble upon Ichiro Kishimi's work on Adlerian psychology. And for the next decade, think about that, an entire decade, he just immersed himself in it, realizing that what truly fascinated him wasn't just Adler, but the way Kishimi interpreted it all through this unique philosophical lens. Koga actually describes the experience as a Copernican revolution. And that's not an exaggeration. You know how Copernicus showed that the Earth was at the center of the universe and it blew everyone's mind? Well, that's what Adler's ideas, filtered through Kishimi, did to Koga's understanding of how people work. It just flipped everything on its head. And this is the core of that revolution. On one hand, you've got traditional psychology, what they call etiology. Think Freud or Jung. It's all about causation. It says your past, your trauma, is the cause of who you are today. But Adlerian psychology, or teleology, asks a totally different question. It's not what caused this, it's what's the purpose of this. This one little shift moves all the power from your past to your present goals. For Koga, this changed absolutely everything. So that's one half of the story. Now let's switch gears to our other main character, the thinker, philosopher Ichiro Kishimi, and see how his own journey made that revolution possible in the first place. You know, Kishimi wasn't your typical psychologist. His journey started deep in Greek philosophy. We're talking Socrates and Plato. It was only later that he even found Adler. But here's where it gets really cool. Instead of treating them as two separate things, he did something amazing. He wove them together, realizing they were both part of the same big conversation about how to live a good life. And this led Kishimi to this massive insight. Adler's ideas about purpose and happiness weren't just some modern clinical theories. No, they were a continuation of the philosophical quest that the ancient Greeks started thousands of years ago. In his mind, Adler wasn't just a doctor, he was a philosopher, plain and simple. And this brings us right to that crucial meeting in Kyoto back in 2010, where these two different paths finally converged. So during their meeting, Kishimi shares his life's ambition. He says, look, Socrates never wrote a single thing down. The only reason we know his world-changing ideas is because his student, Plato, wrote them down in a way that regular people could understand. And then Kishimi says, I would like to be a Plato for Adler. He wanted to do the same thing for the brilliant but not so famous ideas of Alfred Adler. And Koga, without even missing a beat, makes the promise that gives birth to this book. He says, if you're the Plato for Adler, then I'll be the Plato for you. I'll be the one to capture your incredible ideas and share them with the world. And boom. In that one moment, their partnership was sealed. Okay, so this promise directly influenced the book's really unique structure. I mean, why is it a conversation between a youth and a philosopher? That was a very, very deliberate choice. They decided to use the format of a Socratic dialogue. It's the exact same method Plato used to record Socrates' conversations. It's not a lecture, right? It's a back and forth, a dynamic exchange of questions and arguments and discovery. And it's all designed to help you figure out the truth for yourself. The reason for this format was just genius. The authors knew these ideas could be tough to swallow, so they created the youth character to basically be us. He voices every doubt, every objection, every single, yeah, but what about, that a reader might have. This lets us actually see the process of someone struggling with and then finally accepting these big ideas. And this reveals the most powerful part of their whole approach. The authors say it themselves. The youth isn't just some character in a story. He is you. He is me. He represents every single one of us who picks up this book, full of our own questions and our own skepticism, right on the edge of a new understanding. So all of this, the decade-long journey, the brilliant synthesis of ideas, the Socratic method, It all builds up to one central, empowering message. And here it is, the book's ultimate point. What's holding us back from changing our lives and being happy isn't that we lack the skill or that we had a tough past or that our circumstances are hard. It's a lack of courage. The courage to choose a new way of living, to risk being disliked, and to finally truly be free.
Koga and Kishimi had the courage to start this whole project, this decade-long mission to bring these ideas to light. But the book they created isn't the end of the story, it's the starting line. So the question they kind of leave us with is this. They started the conversation. Now that you have the ideas, do you have the courage to take that first step and continue it in your own life?